Kendall and her mum are visiting the grooms' grooming island, where they have arrived to do some husband hunting.
Hello, and welcome to Groom's Grooming Island, where we offer the best full service to brides-to-be who are looking for their groom. Their own Mr. Perfect with whom they can share the rest of their lives with.
Oh, Mum, I'm so happy you brought me here to the Groom's Island. I didn't want to admit it, but I was kind of getting desperate recently. It's so difficult to find a half-decent boy out there. I was almost at that point where I was considering online dating.
Ooh, oh dear. Well, hopefully we can prevent that today. I've only heard the most fantastic and fascinating things about Groom's Grooming Island. The selection of potential grooms they have available here is astonishing. So whatever piques your interest, whoever piques your interest, be that an adorable nerd, a cocky finance dude, or a sensitive artsy type, don't be shy and let me know.
Sure thing, Mum.
So here we are. In the first enclosure, we have the tech freaks, nerds, and Silicon Valley kids. Not the most social type, but the potential to make big money and become the next Zuckerberg, they're extremely high. Tech is where the future is, after all. And worst case scenario, you will never have to pay anyone to fix your computer or your phone anymore.
Good point.
The second grouping we have, the art school grads, a must-have when you go to art exhibitions, galleries or museums. Also, a great asset at snobbish dinner parties. From Kant to Kafka, Plato to Prince, Van Gogh to Van Halen, they know it all.
What do you reckon? An actor? Writer? Philosopher maybe? How about a singer-songwriter?
Let's wait and see what else they've got.
For those who are troubled by the idea of marrying someone with financial burdens, we here have the bankers and economists. Think the arrogance and hubris of Christian Bale, an American Psycho, without the homicidal tendencies, but with a bank account.
Oh, Mummy, I quite like me one of these. They're all lean, muscular and well-kempt. Look at their eyes, the hunger for money and power. Ooh, it's exhilarating. They look like a young and better-looking Donald Trump, minus the orangeness. Mum, I want that. Get me one of those.
Okay, dear, as you wish. Guys, if you could please stop, we would like to get off and buy ourselves one of these Wall Street grooms. If you could get off the vehicle now and have a better look, we would like to examine the goods and buy them on the spot so we can take them home.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing, guys? Hope you've been well. More importantly, hope that you've missed us.
Lol.
We haven't done an episode for a while, but now we're back after a tiny bit of a break.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think there have been quite a few breaks, haven't there?
Yeah,
You
long
went to
breaks.
Miami. You went to Sudan.
I did.
And then most recently, I moved to Canada.
Yeah, exciting news, man.
GTA represent.
You sadder. Yeah, it's been happening. Like, a lot's been moving and
Yeah.
changing recently. Exciting times,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, man. I've been sort of working towards that move for a while, but I didn't want to obviously say anything prematurely and sort of jinx it.
Yeah. But of course, that's
yeah,
not going to
man.
stop the podcast at all. We'll still be doing it long distance.
Obviously, if
Long
anything's going to make
distance
it
podcast
even
lovers.
more awesome.
Exactly.
It feels good to, sort of amidst all that change, to have that one constant of doing the podcast.
Exactly. So what's it like out there? Let the listeners know. Give us some visuals. Like, what can you see outside your window? We want to know.
I can see... Well, it looks... I think in the UK this would be considered a motorway because it's big enough for a motorway, but here
Okay.
it's just like your local road.
Yeah.
But they are massive. The roads are massive in here. Everything's massive.
Can imagine. I love those roads though. Like, so easy
Yeah.
to drive through, I can imagine, and just like
Yes.
so
and for someone
spacious.
who's a really bad driver, this is amazing. And I have an automatic as well, which is like, okay, you're catering towards stupid people, which just fits right into
Exactly, yeah.
into me, so that's cool. But yeah, no, it's been pretty good. I mean, it's been kind of like this weird phase where you're like, you feel a bit like a tourist because I don't have a job as of now. So it's like I'm just sort of getting to know the place, doing admin, and it feels a bit like holidaying because you can basically get up whenever. At the same time, it's like, this is gonna be it, fam. This is gonna be it for the
life. Yes.
Yeah.
You're starting your life from scratch. It's so exciting, man. You've literally just you're on a blank canvas now. You can literally recreate yourself as someone completely different and just start life as that. So exciting, man. And it must
And
be
a bit
so
of vision
surprising
support.
how nice everyone is as well. Like coming from Europe where
know.
everyone's just like, see you next Tuesdays.
I know.
To like,
and even in like government institutions, like usually when you just go to a shop in the UK, no one gives a shit. But when you go like to, I don't know, to get your health card or whatever, it's like people are always pissed and they're like, it's like, but I get it, you work a shitty job, shitty hours, this is going to be there for the rest of your life. I do understand why you're pissed off. But here, you go to like the driving like centre
yeah.
where you get your driver's license or whatever, and they're just so nice. It's like, why are you so happy, man? You're in this little cubicle and you meet people every day, and this is going to be it for the rest of your life. Why are you so happy?
I like that though. It's so nice.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you like it is contagious, isn't it? Like a good vibe and good
Yeah,
mood.
it doesn't
like, you
hurt
just-
to be nice. It's not that hard,
Yeah.
really.
It isn't.
Okay, well, we'll save the Canada chat for a future podcast on
We
like
will.
residential mobility and moving around, because we both have some really interesting stories on that side. But so yeah, let's introduce our topic today.
So we are back, in case that you're wondering, in case that the title of the episode was somewhat ambiguous and didn't give it away. Today we're talking weddings, marriages and Shaadi things. So now obviously, Sarah, you went to Sudan recently for a family wedding.
I did.
But before we dive into that story and sort of hear a bit more about that, let's do it the way that we usually do and introduce ourselves into the topic by a quick question round.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like wedding season is like now coming to an end, right? Winter season is all
Yeah.
about like getting bayed up, getting your boyfriend. And it's like spring is like, I don't know, nothing really happens there in terms of love. And then there's summer, which is like the hoe season. And then like towards the end of summer, it's like everyone's getting married. Like actually, no, like
Yeah.
August to September is like wedding season. Well, anyways, shall
Just
I?
recovered from that phase.
What, hoe season?
Wedding season, bitch.
All right. But yeah, okay, should I start with my questions or do you want to go
Yes,
first?
please do.
All right then, so number one, run me through your ideal wedding or the best wedding you've ever been to.
Ideal wedding. I don't really have an ideal wedding. Like I've never been that kind of girl that, you know, has like a scrapbook full of wedding ideas and dresses and all that stuff.
Yeah, I can't picture that.
Yeah, I'm just happy to sort of keep it simple and as intimate as possible, like with like 200 people, if could be. Although I know that's unrealistic with like the family I've got. Obviously, there's going to be another party, and they're going to have
Oh
people
yeah.
that they want to invite.
How many people
but
do you
it
reckon
would
they'll
just-
invite on your behalf?
On my behalf, I've made it very clear that I'm just going to invite like the closest of the closest, which in my case is probably also going to be like 200, 250 people.
Damn.
Yeah, like including friends and family and, you know, everyone else, and, you know, it is going to be like 200 minimum, I suspect. I mean, I haven't made a list, so I don't know for sure, but, you know, eyeballing it, that's sort of the amount I come up
Bloody
with. And
hell.
obviously, if my partner has like a big family, that's, you know.
God.
But if it were up to me, I'd keep it really simple, because like the really cute ideas that you have is when you know, when you're able to have like a small wedding, then you can sort of take the time to do these small sweet little gestures, like I don't know, like even having like a table plan. That is impossible if you have like 1,000 guests. I'd do something sort of like just very intimate with like my loved ones.
Yeah.
Just like a basic ceremony. But for me, what's the most important thing, I this is probably going to be so unrealistic, but what I really want to do is sort of like a honeymoon that isn't a honeymoon. So we can do like the ceremony, whatever my mum wants, whatever his parents want, whatever. But then I want to like have a getaway with like my closest friends, like maybe 20, 25, and then his friends.
Aw.
Go somewhere like,
Lads
I don't know,
on tour.
anywhere. Yeah, and just like be there for like a week and just like have a good time with his friends and my friends and just sort of have a good time.
Yeah, that sounds wicked. Really fun.
Yeah.
If you can tolerate your friends, that is, for a week, then that sounds absolutely amazing. But
Well,
hopefully
that's a good thing. You're going to be a big enough group for them to just,
kind
put
of
them with someone
space
else,
them out.
so you don't
Yeah.
have to- Yeah.
No, that's a
What
good
about
idea
you?
actually. My ideal wedding.
Or like any wedding that you've been to, or like, I want to have that as well.
Oh god, the best one. I think I've spoken about this so many times, like in our phone calls and stuff. But the Vietnamese and the Sudanese wedding that I went to in France. That was literally the best for me, like the most memorable, just because it was, first of all, the hall that they rented out was so beautiful. Like it was just like this Parisian, like Renaissance kind of building, like really beautiful and old and like just so romantic. And there was like this kind of
lovely.
like pink, misty, like clouds of dust or whatever in the air. It was so weird for like effect, like romantic effect. And then the whole thing was amazing because he was Vietnamese, she was Sudanese. So they had obviously the kind of like Western traditional white dress at first, the slow dance, and then after that they had like the Sudanese traditional dance they were both wearing like the Sudanese clothes and like jewelry and stuff, and then they had the Vietnamese dance, which was hilarious, and then they had like all the like Sudanese aunties and Vietnamese aunties like dancing together in their traditional wear. So it was great to see that, and it was just a great wedding. And they had like a photo booth as well, which was really fun, and you got to take away like a fridge magnet with your picture on it. So that was good. It was lots of fun, and like they had lots of little like giveaways at the end of it, so you can kind of like take it away with you and remember the wedding from that. So that was nice. But it's just the merge of cultures, which was like a wow for me. That's something I want to do.
Really, really lovely as well when you see
it is.
see these two cultures coming together, and it's just lovely because it works. It does work, if you respect each other's culture and sort of are willing to sort of.
And it
be
looks
part
great
of
as
it,
well.
so.
But okay, next one. Should we move on? Okay, so what is the most tragic, embarrassing thing that could happen to you at your wedding? So basically, describe your nightmare wedding.
Well, if he walks out on me, that'd be pretty bad, wouldn't it?
Oh god. Yeah, not the best thing to happen.
But apart from that, I'm pretty chill. I'm not like, I do like order, and I am to a certain extent. I'm a bit of a perfectionist and a control freak, but at the same time, I think I'd be okay if like I didn't get the flowers that I wanted, or whatever. Like if the venue cancelled on me, that'd be pretty bad. But like if there's a bit of rain, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Like, I that's not gonna bother me.
You're pretty laid back. I can imagine you being quite blasé about them like fucking something up. You'd just be like, yeah, it's alright, whatever. Let's just sign the papers and get out of here.
Do you know what would be really bad?
What?
If I woke up and sort of like, okay, this is like a cliche nightmare that when you get up like to the altar or to the mandap or whatever, and sort of you have like a massive wardrobe malfunction and
With your
just,
nipple
like,
out.
naked. That'd be so horrendous.
Oh my god, or like just like a stain close to your bum or something. How horrible would that be?
You can make a joke of that. That's pretty okay, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Not if
Or
it's
if you woke up
yeah.
If you woke up on the night of the day of your wedding and like you lost all your eyebrows and your hair or something.
Oh my god. And your eyelashes. Oh lord. You'd have to get a wig, paint on your eyebrows, get like a full set of teeth for the day. You'd have to do it. You'd have to improvise, yeah.
No problem.
Literally.
If you can't get the teeth, just don't smile.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I went to a wedding and the bride had braces on and she was trying so hard not to smile whenever they zoomed into her face, because there were like big screens where like, there were like cameramen recording it, and you could like tell she was trying to not smile, but then in the end she smiled, and it was like, it's fine anyways. It didn't look great, let's be honest, but got to do what you got to do for those straight teeth, so whatever.
Exactly.
I'm not judging.
Exactly.
But
how about you? What's like the worst thing that could happen to you?
I would probably say, like the same, just something really bad happening, like all my hair falling out, or just like a family fight, like between your in-laws and your family. Imagine that would be horrendous.
I would love that as a bystander.
Yeah, but that's your family, like what? No, that would be horrendous.
I'm so like I do avoid conflict whenever I can, but when I do sort of like go to like family events, there's a tiny, I know that's so evil and so mean, but there's a tiny part of me, I'm not gonna lie, that's like, oh, I hope there's gonna be like some really big drama here, there's gonna be hair pulling and, you know,
yeah, no, I know what
taking
you
off the
mean.
earrings.
And then that's really something to talk about after and tell everyone, because normally when people are like, oh, what happened at the wedding, you're like, oh yeah, you know, everything went to plan, yeah,
Everyone's happy,
no drama.
Jesus.
But when it's your wedding, like, you do not want that shit to happen.
This is true.
Hell to the no, God. Alright, next one. So, do you think weddings are on the rise, or are they becoming obsolete, and why?
I don't know. Do you know what? I think it depends on the culture. If I sort of look at sort of my, well, for lack of a better word, my white friends, I do see more people who are like, oh, you know what, I don't really see the point of a wedding. Or you can hear that kind of rhetoric where they're like, you know, you don't need a piece of paper or whatever. I can just promise that person to be with them forever, and we don't need to go to the, you know, the city hall and get married. But at the same time, I do see a rise of weddings in my sort of my South Asian.
Oh, really? So
friends.
Even more than the
but
past?
not in terms of like, oh, they just, you know, they keep getting married, but more in the terms of they married, they divorced, they married, they divorced, they
really?
married, they divorced.
What, marry different people, I'm guessing, not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's like what? Just take a chill pill, just breathe, date that person. But I think it's also because in sort of the South Asian culture, you have the thing of you're not allowed to date openly.
Yeah.
So, you know, when parents find out that someone is together with, you know, that their daughter is seeing someone, it's like, you have to get married ASAP, rather than like, okay, let's just let them date for a year and just see where they actually fit. So they're like, oh no, they have to get married ASAP, and then they get married and they're like 22. It's like, you know what, we actually don't fit each other. Which we could have found out if you had just let us fucking date in peace, but no, you had to get us married.
So on average, how many times would you say they'd get married in a lifetime? Like, what's the you know, common thing now?
I'm not going to say everyone in my friend circle, but, you know, I do know, like, some friends of friends or whatever, they've been sort of like, now that are now in their third marriage.
Damn.
And they're just like my age. It's like, how are you 29 and have already done 3 marriages? Like, how do you even do that?
Whoa, 29. But yeah, to be honest, like, yeah, if you get married in your early 20s, you're bound to just like fall out of love and like just grow into a different person and want something different. That's completely understandable. It's kind of like dating, isn't it? When you in your 20s, I'd say you date, you know, quite a few people, and that's without having to get married. So imagine if you have to get married. Bloody hell, I'd be married like 10 times.
Exactly. God. That's one for Sarah's parents. Listen up, I should also write that. Another thing that I seem to find, this is again in my South Asian circle, is that either they get married really young, like, you know, 21, 22, or they get married really old, like in their 30s.
Oh, really?
Like in their mid-20s, you hardly find anyone, because if you're 25, 26 and you're not married, it means that you just like, you know, you're a career person, so you're going to university, you just got a job. So marriage at this point of time is not a priority, so you sort of like push it to the future, and then you know, so they get married when they're sort of like early 30s, late 20s. Or you do it right before you get to uni, before you sort of define who you are and sort of grow with that person into...
That makes sense. I wonder if people that delay marriage are happier. Like, you know, once you get to that stage where you do know yourself, you've grown up, you've had that life experience, and you're like, okay, I've got someone to match that and someone who's compatible with my life so far. You know, is that better than marrying someone at like 21 and then you get to 25 and you're like, I'm a completely different person. Who are you and who am I? Like
best case scenario, they grow with you and you grow as a couple.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You grow into the same place, if that makes sense. But worst case scenario, you don't, and you're like a completely different person. Like your views have changed. Hopefully, it's what you said, and that you're more happy as a couple, as a married couple, the older you, like, you know, the older you are, like, because that's what's gonna what you know,
that makes sense, doesn't it? Oh right, it does. That's true.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there's a difficulty, because there's a difficulty in finding that partner, because you know what you want, you know specifically what you want and what you don't want.
You get pickier.
And can't accept. Exactly, you're pickier, and you're a bit more scrutinizing, just more critical with when it comes to sort of choosing your life partner. So it can, I don't know. There's, I guess there's pros and cons to both of it, but
there is, and I guess when you find that person, you just find them. All of that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If you're not ready for marriage, you're not ready, and it doesn't really matter. But anyways, so next
all right, cool.
part.
That's now my questioning. All right, number one, what is the worst thing your fiancé can propose in terms of like a wedding, like a concept or rules, or like what's the worst kind of wedding for you that you could come up with?
I think probably, obviously, a nudist wedding for obvious reasons. Like, imagine seeing your family-in-law naked. Like, life would never be the same again. Like, going over for dinners and family gatherings with like the image of their genitals. You know what? It reminds me of that. Have you seen that dating show that loads of people have complained about? And you basically choose a date based on their genitals. Have you seen it? It's horrendous. It's horrible.
How is that a show? Like, you'd have to show those images on TV.
Yeah, they do. It's like late night TV. Like, I watched it with my friend the other day.
Is that a UK show?
Yeah, it's a UK show. And basically, I was like, okay, I don't really want to watch this. And my friend was like, let's just watch it for a laugh. Let's see. And I was like, okay, fine. Just out of curiosity, let's see it. And like, they basically have loads of people, like 5 people lined up. And you don't see their face. You just see their genitals. And then there's one person, it's horrible. It's horrible. And then that one person has to choose whose genitals they like. So they choose 2 people and then they reveal their faces, and then he or she has to choose which one they prefer, and then they go on a date with them. So it's like,
this is so bad.
You've broken down those barriers. There's no need to feel embarrassed anymore. They've seen you butt naked, and like that's what they choose the date on.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That concept of a dating show, or just date, no.
Please
just
give it a watch.
So much. No, do you know what? I think what kind of, again, I don't want to judge it before sort of having seen it, knowing more about it. But just like from what I've heard now, it's just teenagers are so sort of worried about, is it normal the way my genitals look? And then you sort of like, you literally put them on a pedestal, you put them in a box, and you're like, okay, this is what's nice, and this is how it's supposed to look. Yeah, this is how it's supposed to look. So we've actually gone from, face shaming, body shaming people to now genital shaming people. It's weird.
I know, and I think it'd be better to just have an element of like privacy when it comes to that. Like, who cares? We don't need to see it. We just don't. Like, just live in that kind of mystery of knowing what yours looks like, and that's it. That's fine. And the guy that was trying to pick a girl, he was like, oh, her thing is too long, her flaps are like this. And then me and my friend looked at each other and we were like, he's not even all that great, and he's literally like pulling them apart. Like, this is their naked body, like this is them at their most intimate, in their most intimate moments. And he's picking them apart. And that's when I was like, we have to switch this off, because it's just like, I know why people complained about it now. Is actually horrendous.
Also, how many, like, as your average Joe or Jen, how many genitals have you seen to be able to say, oh, this is
I know.
the way normal?
Oh my god! Exactly.
What you could do, like, Google like loads of like genitals, or like go around town and be like, could I just have a look in your jeans? Like,
in your jeans.
You
it was horrible.
Probably have seen like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
exactly.
genitals.
And and he was like, oh, I haven't dated that much in my life, and that's why me and my friend were like, what the hell? I swear he just said he's not that experienced. Like, how is he so judgmental and like picking them apart? It was just horrendous. Like,
also
shit
the thing
TV.
is, like, when you talk about nudists, that nudity is liberating, because like your genitals aren't sexualized. It's just an object. If you look at a pair of breasts, it's just breasts. It's nothing for you to suck on or, you jerk off over.
But people do.
Well, but not in a nudist community, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
right,
it's not supposed to be sexual. This is just a body, and that's sort of the learning that you have, whereas in the show, these genitals are like overly sexualized and hypersexualized, which I don't know. No.
Another thing that is like, talking about horrendous weddings, probably going back to what you were saying, like, how many people are going to turn up and stuff. I can imagine like massive weddings being tedious, just because my cousin, she was getting really pissed off at one point because people kept pulling on her like constantly. Like, they were pulling on her dress like she was property, like she was just some object. And I think
Pulling on her for what? Like, what do they
just
want?
like, oh,
a
come over
picture with
here,
her?
let's take a picture, or let's go here, it's time for you to do the dance, or time for you to do this. And you feel kind of like they own you. So I think that aspect of it, you know, like the limelight being on you, everyone wants a picture with you or a piece of you. And, you know, imagine having to look ecstatically happy for like a few hours. That is some painful shit. Like, I guess it's what celebrities go through, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
yeah, like having just that is too
Because you're
painful.
in that place where like you want to please everyone because obviously you want them to remember your wedding in a positive way, but then it's like it's kind of my day, so the focus should be on me being happy, and it's like that conundrum of who comes first, basically. Yeah.
God, I'm gonna drink a lot of coffee on my wedding day.
Coffee, okay.
Yeah,
An
no,
Irish
that's
coffee.
not a euphemism for anything else. I don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. But yeah.
Alright, my number 2. What if your fiancé is not a fan of weddings? We slightly hinted at that, or I slightly hinted at that. But what if he were like, you know, he's completely committed to you. I guess he wouldn't be your fiancé, just a boyfriend. But say you've been sort of dating for a few years, and he's like really committed to you, and he wants to spend the rest of his life with you. But he tells you that he doesn't want to get married to you just because he doesn't agree with sort of the institution of marriage. He's still going to be, you know, your life partner, and he's going to support you and protect you and all that stuff. Everything that a husband is to do, he's going to have a family with you, but there's no traditional wedding.
Oh God, this is quite common, isn't it? I feel like this is just kind of like a scapegoat for I don't want to commit. Like, I don't want to settle down.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there are genuinely people that obviously don't really believe in marriage, and they're not that bothered. Like, are you one of those people?
Oh, I myself am not, but I understand if other people are.
Yeah. But no, for me, I get a bit kind of like, it's a red flag for me, and I'd have to say in general, it is a deal breaker. It is a deal breaker for me, because I really want marriage, and if it is just a piece of paper to them, then what's the big deal? You know, he can make that small compromise for me if it's just a piece of paper. And yeah, if he's saying that, it just, for me, it's like, oh my God, he's a commitment phobe, or he's already thinking of ways to get out easily. Like, maybe he's thinking, you know, divorce is too much of a hassle, and that's all he's thinking about. I mean, we don't even need to get married religiously, but I'm kind of like a romantic person. Yeah, I believe in love and marriage, and my parents have been married for years, and I think partnerships are good. So yeah. Like, I'm all for marriage.
I haven't really thought about it too much myself. I'm just realising, like, because I'm kind of like the same, like, I do get it, it's just a piece of paper, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, the pragmatic in me says there are a lot of sort of benefits to being married, like, you know, tax benefits, you know, in case I die,
Lol.
yes, you know. I mean, it, you know, just saying as it is, you know, if we decide to have children, you know, he's the one who automatically gets to take care of the children, like property and all that stuff. And also, I think I just like to have just like a ceremony to celebrate that, you know, that we say, oh, we have officially committed to each other. I don't need, it's not that I need to, you know, shout out to the world, oh, he's mine, don't touch him. It's more of a, look at me, I found someone.
Yeah, it's like a symbol.
And I want my friends and family to celebrate with me how happy I am to have found this person.
So what if you marry someone who's like, okay, like an English guy, and he's like, okay, no, I don't want a traditional wedding at all. I do want to get married, but I just want to go to a registry office, sign a paper, and that's it. What would you say? Because you know your family would be pissed. They'd be like, we want a wedding. I know my family would be like, why doesn't he want to do like a public wedding? Is he hiding something? What do you think? What would your family say?
My family's the same. My parents are probably like, yeah, just do, like, obviously you're gonna do a Hindu ceremony, like, obviously I don't care whether he's a Muslim or a Christian, you're gonna do a fucking Hindu ceremony. I don't know, I guess it's just, I mean, it's a fucking like 2-hour thing, like, just get it over with. You know, it's not gonna be a massive do. Just to make my parents happy, I'm gonna do whatever your parents want so they're happy. Yeah. And then we're gonna have, like, you know, for our friends, we're just gonna have like a little party, and if you don't like that, then that's something shady.
Yeah, I'd get a bit not paro, but I'd be like, come on, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like with celebrities, so we're gonna like tell the world there's gonna be pictures of it on the internet, whatever. Yeah, it's just gonna be my closest friends, your closest friends, my family, your family, and surely they can know that we're now a couple and we're official.
Imagine
would
if he's
promise
just
to
got
stay
like
with each
crippling
other.
anxiety and he's like, I just cannot stand in front of people and I just cannot bear.
Just get drunk, man, and let's just get this over with.
Exactly,
'Cause, I
let's
mean,
just
I'm
do
not the
it.
biggest. I think there are moments where I'm like, I think I might have commitment issues myself, because there are instances where I'm like, you might have just sabotaged yourself there.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but just like shutting out certain people out of my life and just be like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
yeah,
That's too
yeah.
risque or whatever. So if he's even worse than me, that's, I don't know. Yeah,
It's a bit
something
worrying,
to
isn't
think
it?
about. Yeah.
No, I can imagine. I just know that like when my wedding is over, I'll be so relieved. I think that'll be the biggest relief of my life, because
Really?
I'm like not single anymore, so that's something I don't need to think about. Like, it's done. Okay,
There you go, high school haters. I found someone.
that's all I'm doing it for, the Facebook likes. No, I'm joking. I don't have Facebook, but yeah, because of that, and B, just like having to get all of that, like just the whole thing organised, and like when it's finally done, it'll be like, yes, mission accomplished, it's done, no more stressing about the fucking flowers and the guests and all of that. And then thirdly, it'll just be like, finally my family can just piss off and stop like harassing.
I know, thank you. That is the one for me. That's the one that I can relate to.
Yeah.
Out of those three. I just want to get married, like, for two reasons. One, to just get my family off my back. They're like, you're 29, you should be married, blah, 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 blah. So I want to get them to just stop talking to me. For one. And the other, I just want to, like obviously, in best case scenario, when I do get married, hopefully I found someone that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
So I just know that there is someone for me. It sounds so pathetic.
Somewhere
and sad,
out
but
there
you know,
in the intergalactic, there it is.
yeah, and knowing that I'm married, it's like, I found that one person. I've actually found that person
Yeah.
who accepts me for who I am. So,
It's a massive accomplishment, isn't it? Like, it is
It
one of the
is.
milestones of life. It's like, damn,
Yeah.
there's someone out there who can actually tolerate
like,
me.
what are the odds?
Yeah.
What are the odds that someone is crazy enough to be with someone like us?
Yeah,
And spend the
forever.
rest, yeah.
Forever. That is nuts.
Ever. All right. Lastly, when you think of sort of married life, when you think of love, who to you is sort of the ultimate couple? Like who is it to you that represents like a good, strong, healthy relationship, a healthy marriage?
Oh god. Okay. I'm going to be a bit controversial and just say no one. And I swear this isn't a lazy answer. It's not. It's actually just coming from a point where I'm getting older and I've spoken to a lot of people recently about their relationships, about their marriages,
Yeah.
about their engagements, and I'm just starting to realize that no relationship is perfect at all.
Perfect.
Like, not even one out there is perfect. And it sounds cliche,
Everyone's
but
just deeply unhappy.
yeah, like I've learned that in like really, it's so true. Like, it's so
God,
true.
you're so English.
So yeah, I've just like been talking to people, and it's just like humans are so varied, and you'll never find someone who covers all the corners and is
Yeah.
like absolutely perfect. You either get someone who you're like super sexually attracted to but not intellectually stimulated by, or vice versa, or someone who like adores you but like isn't into the things that you're into. Yeah, it's just really about like just compromising and finding someone you'll trust and whatever. Basically what I'm trying to say is that there is no such thing as a completely healthy and perfect couple, because you find out all these crazy things about couples, and then like I've just been left really disillusioned. Like, some of them are secretly swingers, or they've been arguing for ages, or one of them has like an illegitimate love child. Like, like Jay-Z and Beyonce, that whole thing, that was like, what the hell?
Wait, what?
Yeah, like apparently Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce or whatever. Like, that was just, for me, that was like,
Oh, you're talking about Becky with the good hair?
yeah, like,
Okay.
if that
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
happened,
yeah.
it's just like, what the hell, we have no hope out here. Like, I've just felt really kind of disillusioned. That's the main word for me, where I'm like, no couple is perfect. Like, no
Yeah.
couple. Like,
Yeah.
no couple. But what about you?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I kind of agree, like, that no one is completely happy. Like, you always have, dark moments, dark periods, as a couple, as an individual. But I think it's sort of the ability sort of to go through that and still come out at the end of the tunnel and just be like, you know what, I'm still going to do this, continue this journey with you. I think, like, in terms of celebrity couples, I think one couple that I sort of quite admire, just judging from sort of their social presence,
Yeah.
are Christine and John Legend.
Oh,
That,
yeah.
obviously they have sort of the insta love. They're quite cute. They look nice together.
Yeah.
They had like a dream wedding. They have a baby. They're happy. They're rich. Whatever. But on the other hand, you also, you have her talking about depression. They've broken up. They've had dark periods.
She is so relatable, and she's just one of those people that's like, you'd be so fun to date. You can just tell she's hilarious. She's got a great sense of humour. She's fun.
Exactly.
And because I think I saw a meme about them, and it was like John Legend and Chrissy have the kind of relationship where they just eat all day and laugh, and I want a relationship like that. And they are relationship goals like all the time, and it's true. I guess like how you come out of hardship really says a lot about the relationship. Because everyone's
and it's
going to
not
have
just the
ups
fact
and
that they
downs.
do have sort of these sexy banters and whatever, but it's also the fact that she's dealt with depression. She had like a really dark period. I think she had postnatal depression. They had trouble, receiving a child. They broke up quite a few times in the past, but they still found each other after that. They're still going strong despite those hard times.
They did.
It's like, that's really nice. But I think in real life for me, and that again sounds very cliche, but I think my parents are someone that I quite look up to in that regard, which makes sort of dissing arranged marriages quite hard for me, because they were an arranged marriage couple. They were quite young when they got married, but I mean obviously they also have their dark periods and they have had fights, and I don't want to get too personal, but I mean they had their not so happy moments and not so happy periods. But what I see with my parents that I admire the most is that they work as a team and they listen to each other. Like obviously they have fights and they but then after a day they turn around and they listen to what the other person needs.
That's great. It is a lot about listening, isn't it? Taking it in,
it is a lot about
acting on it.
communication and just and just being able, just recognizing the fact that you're a team, you're together in this, so you have to make compromises. My dad gave up a lot for my mum, and vice versa.
I think the killer is resentment, isn't it? Really, when you're like because obviously you're both bound to do really hard things that you don't really want to do for each other, and then a lot of couples do end up resenting stuff like that. But if you can come through it and be like, you know what, you're going to be down sometimes, so am I, and like if we can pull through it, then we can overcome anything. Just getting through that is like really a testament of a good relationship, I guess, because everyone's going to go through shit. Everyone is. But
so it's just like a sense of sort of give and take and appreciating what the other one gave and what the other one took.
Exactly.
And it's just like keeping that
like balance
channel of communication open.
Because I think I'm trying to come to terms with that as well now, because I'm like, there is no fairy tale relationship, like there isn't. Get over that, like pop that bubble, it's gone. But interesting. Alright,
so to move on with the actual part of the podcast, tell us about the wedding, man. How was Sudan?
Sudan was really, really good. So my cousin got married. She's originally, she's Sudanese obviously, but she lives in the US and she lives in Minnesota. So her husband is he's Sudanese as well, but he lives in Qatar, but they're moving to the US now. So they decided to get married in Sudan, and that was like a great experience for me. Like got to kind of rekindle relationships with family, and like it was just lovely. It was amazing, and like I kind of really wanted to go because I'm thinking, wishful thinking, that hopefully I'll get married in like the next 5 years, so it would be nice to kind of freshen up on my Sudanese wedding traditions and like get a bit of like kind of backstories of the weddings and like what it's all about. So that was cool, and we were all kind of the same age as well, so it was nice to get some gossip and like some stories, like how does everything pan out and stuff. So that was cool.
Also you've got a family, like cousins from different countries, right? So
exactly. So I had like my cousin who's like half Indonesian, half Sudanese, and another one who's like half Egyptian, half Sudanese. We get around, my family gets around. But so I'll fill you in about Sudanese weddings, shall I?
Please do, because I'm sure that most of sort of, I mean myself included, but most of the listeners have no idea how most weddings work, unless they're sort of from that culture, or like a white Christian wedding. This is going to be kind of long, so brace yourself. Okay, I'll try and make it as brief as possible. But the Sudanese weddings are like, basically weddings are a big part of life out there, I'm sure, like in Asian culture and Arab culture. So it is very like elaborate and detailed. So we basically have
first of all, a celebration called the Agid. Normally it's 3 days, by the way. The Agid is kind of like the legal kind of agreement, and the families get together, and it's all done religiously in the mosque as well. So that's all sorted out first. Second day is the henna day, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Oh, that comes after the wedding for you.
Yeah. No, so that's not like the ceremony. That's literally just like signing the papers. Families
so like
meet
the
families.
civil.
Yeah. It's got
Okay.
nothing to do with the actual celebration.
Okay.
So then you have the henna day, and the men get henna and the women. Do men get henna on your side as well?
They used to, like, ages ago, but now they don't anymore because they're too much so to have anything on their hands. But yeah, they used to, because I don't even know what the...
And what would it be? Would it just be the fingertips? Because that's what they do in Sudan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just the fingertips. But
So-
for the women, it's more elaborate. For the men, it just used to be the fingertip.
Okay, yeah, that's the same with us as well. So for the henna day, basically the men is kind of like the equivalent of a stag do. So all the men get together, like the men from the family, and they get their henna done, whatever. I don't know what they do. Like maybe it's like bro time. I don't know what the hell they do. But yeah, they do that. And then the women have their like henna day, obviously. So while this was going on, we didn't actually do that with the bride because stuff was going on. We were busy, they were busy. But we like...
Getting drunk.
Oh God, no. It's a Muslim country with Sharia laws. But no,
course you did.
people get
Drink,
drunk
oh,
there.
damn
People
right.
drink there, of course.
Oh, I bet they do.
So basically, we kind of went off with the bridesmaids, and we rented out an apartment, and it was all of us in one apartment. It was really fun. We went to get our henna done together, went to a hairdresser. Hairdresser was hilarious. So this is my first experience of a hairdresser in Africa. You just had like loads of like big mamas, like proper Sudanese, like aunties, like doing your hair. And then all of a sudden there was a massive power cut, so the lights went off, the hair dryers went off as well, and everyone just like sighs in unison. And then like 10 minutes later,
again.
10 minutes later it just comes on again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was bad.
So what,
there.
you're just sitting there patiently for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that happens a lot in Africa, like a hell of a lot. So yeah, and then after that we just kind of have the normal wedding party we had it in a hall, and that was basically just like families, and like the men wear like a traditional toga galabia thing, women wear like their tops and stuff, which is weird because only married women can wear them. Like I asked if I could wear one, and they were like, no, only you have to be married, and like you have to have kids.
Really?
Basically. Yeah, talking about bizarre weird things, they do this thing where they spit milk at each other, but my cousin didn't do that.
They spit milk.
Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
They take some milk in their mouth and they spit it
At each other.
Just like any guests.
No, the bride and the groom spit it at each other.
Oh, okay.
This
It's
is-
still odd.
It's very
Okay.
odd. So it's meant to represent like protection and commitment. So that's it. Of course, I have
Like,
to
in a
say,
weird way.
there's like the element of ovulating. Do you guys do that as well?
We do. I mean, yeah, we do it. Like the women do that but I think it doesn't happen at the wedding. I think it happens when the bride and the groom come to
out.
the home.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Get into the home as a couple for the first time. Like that sort of. That's like a procession, and then the women sort of stand in the front and they do that thing, and then they.
It's interesting,
the
isn't it? It's
woman
like an
walks into the
animal kind of
house.
thing, like very like a high pitched hoot. Yeah, no, but it was
That's
great.
so
Like there
cool.
was something really kind of like just great about the
Warm
optics of
about
it. Yeah, like so much colour.
Yeah.
The older men in their like galabias and their like head wraps, and the women like in their things,
Yeah.
in their taupes. But it was great. Like I loved being there, and it was just and we also do this other thing where it's like this clicking thing. It's like
Told me about that. Yeah.
yeah, it's really weird. It's like you just you kind of click and you dance, and you do it to like the Sudanese music, and it's mainly when like the groom comes out. Don't know what that
okay.
means. Yeah, don't know how things are passed down through generations, and what they actually mean. But yeah, that's something that's done.
I read somewhere even about the henna. I read I read a reason why people do that, but I completely forgot.
I
Yeah,
think that's just
completely-
to like ward off the evil eye.
What if
It's-
evil spirit? Was
I
it
think
something
so,
like that?
yeah.
It's very. It's funny how quite a few things are quite similar in our tradition, like like the henna day.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I went to my cousin's wedding last year,
Okay, how did that go?
and it's very similar. Like for me as well, I think the main thing that I loved about the wedding is it's just sort of the get together with family from all over the world, and because you meet so rarely, because literally everyone's spread across the globe. But it's sort of that one occasion once a year, or once every 2 years, where you sort of get together. Now, obviously, we're all celebrating the fact that these two people found each other and it's all lovely and blah blah blah. But yeah, like the family aspect, like hanging out with cousins, it's so. Oh, I just really love that.
Yeah.
But in terms of sort of how Tamil weddings work, they're just really long. I'm not a fan of them, I have to say.
How many hours?
Just because they're so long. So if you're part of like the really close family, if you're not just a random guest, but if you're really a close part of the family, this shit starts at like 5-6 a.m.
Damn.
It's no joke. And you get ready, the priest comes in, you get prepared. There's like a lot of praying involved, because South Asian, like Tamil people, are really religious people. Like they like their ceremonies and they like their prayers and their rituals, and it's just like, fair enough, whatever. So once the bride and groom gets to the mandap, the altar, as it were, that's another like 3-hour thing that goes on, which I wouldn't mind the fact that it's early or that it's long, but it's also the fact that whatever the priest says, he says in Sanskrit, which is like Latin. So it's a language that no one knows, no one speaks. And it's like literally him talking there, praying there in a language that no one understands. He could literally be cussing out the everyone in there, or the guests and the bride and the groom. It's like you just sit there and it's just...
It's funny how these things are just mainly traditional, aren't they? Like, people don't actually know the meanings behind them, like the undulating or the clicking or all of that, the henna. It's like, but it's been carried on for so many generations that it just has to be done. Like, people are so kind of like strict on those things. It's weird. Yeah.
The good thing is that while that goes on the mandap, and while they get married, you have sort of time to sort of socialise and talk to your aunties and your cousins and just hang out, which is quite nice. But yeah, so basically it's this long ass affair, and it's in a language that you don't understand, and it's also the fact that we don't have vows. So I know that obviously Christians, they have that moment where the priest asks you, oh, do you want to get married to this person? They say yes. You have a similar thing in Islam, don't you, where the imam asks.
Yeah.
And, they have an opportunity to say yes or no. But they don't have the opportunity in Hinduism. The priest doesn't ask you.
Really?
At no point can you say, oh, do you know what, I actually don't want to... I mean, obviously you can just stand up and walk out of the ceremony, but there's no point where the priest asks you, do you want to get married to this person sitting next to you? None of that.
God, it really goes without saying. It's like, you've come this far, bitch. Like, you're not saying no.
I guess so. Not after all that money that we've spent and all those flower arrangements.
God.
Also another thing, which isn't that massive a bummer for me because I'm not that much of a meat eater, but Hindu ceremonies are vegetarian because as an actual Hindu, you're not actually supposed to eat any kind of meat. There's also no alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no alcohol allowed, no meat allowed. Again, not very important because I obviously don't drink.
Of course you don't. Hold on a minute, is this throughout the whole wedding?
Yeah, so the whole wedding ceremony, while the priest is there, you're not allowed to drink. Now, for the reception, that's another thing.
Oh, okay.
There, you're allowed to drink. Yeah, for the actual ceremony, the Hindu ceremony.
Sure, the alcoholics can wait a bit, one day longer.
But to me, honestly, receptions are really nice because you can just have a dance, you can have a drink, you can just, eat some good food and just have a good time. But for me, what these weddings, whenever I'm invited to a wedding or, I hear someone's getting married, I'm going to a wedding, the favourite part is literally just hanging out with my cousins because you see them so rarely. Yeah. And I remember for my cousin's wedding last year, all the cousins were in one house. Yeah. And we would just literally sleep on the floor, sleep wherever you've got some space. Yeah. And it'd be like this really late night discussions, and we just talk about everything and nothing, and it's just really lovely.
It is like the best memories, honestly. Yeah. It's so great having like a big family. It's literally such a richness. It is. Honestly, it's such a cool thing. Yeah. Question. Do you get any creepy like uncles, cousins at weddings?
Every family, I bet you everything I have, every family has a creepy uncle and a creepy, not necessarily a creepy cousin, but just that weird cousins that you don't really know what to do with. Yeah.
What do you mean, like the socially awkward one that's not really wanted there?
He just doesn't roll with you. he's kind of a loner,
Yeah.
and it's just awkward. You don't know how to start a conversation, and I don't know anyways because I'm awkward. And if he's going to be more awkward than me, then I'm fucking lost.
God, that is really dark. Really dead end there. So Italy, kind of vanilla, nothing interesting to say. Very like, you know, kind of Western style weddings, like white dress and like church wedding and everything. My cousin recently got married in this like protected woodland area in Italy.
Yeah,
so it
you
was
told
all
me
set
about
outside, and yeah, it was gorgeous. Like they had this long table for all their friends, and then one of their favourite books on each chair for the guests to take away. So it was like very elegant and very like nature based, and it, you know, reflected their interests and personalities, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
One thing that is like traditionally Italian is confetti sweets, and like this thing called basically bomboniere, which is like, have you been to an Italian wedding? I know you went to Florence for the wedding.
Yeah.
And they give you this like sack of like sweets that's wrapped up. Yeah, so that's like the only thing that's pretty traditional. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Italy.
That, I think, you know what's weird? It's because that wedding that I went to in Tuscany, like, that is the most Instagram worthy wedding, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it because like it was two of my best friends getting married. It was so lovely. We had such a good time. So it was sort of a very neat wedding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like very
it was just, like, the
elegant
aesthetic, Whereas sort of South Asian weddings, they are messy as fuck.
Yeah,
Nothing's organised. Everyone's sort of like talking over each other. No one's got a clue what's going on. It's too many people. It's too hot. It's too sweaty. But at the same time, they are so warm, and you do feel kind of at home.
Yeah, no, I
that
can
makes
imagine.
sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It kind of reflects, you know, like the polar opposites of the West and the East. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
in the West we're very we like to think we're very civilized, and you know, there's a lot of like passive
Organised,
aggression, and we just keep it under all the scandals. We just brush them away. But like in you know, like Africa or Asia, we're just like, fuck it, like this is what it is, and it's nice.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it is very warm, and it does feel like home.
I don't know. I don't think that's one of the things. When I look at a partner, I do need someone who's like a proper family person, like who can deal with my crazy family, and who's got a really close family that he has. Because if he doesn't understand that, I don't know. He probably can't understand me.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know
No, I
what I mean?
totally agree. Like, family is absolutely everything. For me, it's like something I look for in a guy. Like, are you family orientated? Yes. Okay, that ticks the box.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I have stopped talking to people, stopped seeing people because of, they just don't get it. They just don't get what family means. Yeah, it's just that sort of, they can be as nice as they like. And I'm not saying, the people that I've met that aren't into family, that aren't family people, are bad people. They're just not, they're lovely people. But, like, if you go about, living in the same country as your family, but not see them for like 3 years. It's like,
that's
what?
Yeah, I know.
What?
I know.
And it's like, but they just live like 2 hours away from you. Why would you not go and see them for Christmas?
I'm so with you on that. Like, so with you.
Yeah.
It's the strangest thing, but yeah, it's just different cultures.
I guess
do it differently.
everyone has like different priorities and what's important to them. But like family is so important.
It
to me,
is.
like, my
It
parents
is.
and my cousins. If you don't understand that, then I don't see how this is going to work. Basically.
Yeah, no, I agree
Yeah.
completely. Like, they're the only people to really pick you up when things hit the fan. Like, for real. I've learnt that this year. So yeah. Well, anyways, topic for another podcast. It's getting real deep there for a minute. Really angry. But yeah.
Talking about sort of other unheard of or somewhat bizarre, odd wedding rituals all over the world, I found some things in Germany as well that. So one of these traditions, I've sort of, it was more of like an urban story. I know they used to do that. I've never heard of my actual friends doing that, because that'd probably be illegal. But there's this tradition of bride kidnapping. You might have heard of that.
What the hell? That sounds like the thing that Irish travellers do.
What?
Yeah,
What's that? Tell me, I think that sounds more interesting.
they
than
just
this one.
when they're courting a woman, they like just pick you up and like take you into their caravan or take you into their car. Like, literally, I can't remember what it's called, but
I think that's just straight up kidnapping.
yeah, like that's what they do. But the girls are like giggling and stuff because they know that's part of their community and their culture. But yeah, that's like
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so dark.
Tell me about this.
This is much more fun. Fun. So here, the friends of the bride, they sort of kidnap her in inverted commas, and the groom has to look for the bride. So he usually does that in pubs. So he goes to pubs and he's like, "Oh, have you seen my bride?"
Yeah.
And if the people present at the pub have been invited, they tell you. If they haven't been invited, then it's custom that he picks up the tab for the entire pub.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's just like teasing the groom.
Ah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So it's much less dark than bloody kidnapping a woman and putting her in your caravan and driving away.
Would you do
You
anything?
say Germans are weird.
Oh god, you guys are. Would you do anything like that, like a game, something fun, like coming up to the wedding, like a detective thing, maybe with clues, or I don't know?
Okay.
Nah.
I mean, no, listen, it sounds fun, but if you've ever been like part of sort of organizing a wedding, it is so stressful. Like a week before the wedding, everyone is mental. Now you have to do this, you have to do this. There's no time for games like that. If I'm quite chill, but I think like a week before the wedding, I'd be pretty high strung. And if then someone kidnaps me and wants to play games with me, I will go batshit crazy on you.
Throat punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Everyone says they're like, your wedding, I've said this so many times, your wedding is going to be the most stressful day of your life. Like, everyone has said that to me, everyone who's been married, and like, they're like, you're the only one who doesn't enjoy your wedding day, basically. So, yeah.
I mean, ideally, I would be chilled enough to play games like this and like, do banter with my family and friends, but
That's it.
I don't know if realistically that's possible.
No, I get that. I've come across a few weird traditions. I'll read like
Hit me with it.
my favourite ones. So in China, they do something called shooting the bride. So in China's Uyghur culture, grooms shoot their future brides with a bow and arrow. Minus the arrowheads 3 times, and the groom then breaks the arrows to ensure the couple stay in love forever.
It's kind of weirdly cute.
Do you think? Well, yeah, it's kind of, it's like, I don't know, it's a bit scary though. I'd be scared to do that. So, next one. So, in Ireland, feet on the ground. In Ireland, the bride's feet must stay on the ground at all times when she and the groom are dancing. This is due to the belief that if they don't, evil fairies will come and sweep her away.
Oh.
Yeah. By the way...
Yeah, they do have a strong culture of sort of believing in fairies, don't they? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
they
reading
do.
American
Leprechauns.
Gods at the moment.
Okay.
And they talk about sort of leprechauns and fairies and all that
Woodland
sort of mystical
creatures.
stuff, which is really, it's really endearing, I think.
God, I used to crazy be into fairies when I was younger. But yeah, anyways, next one. France drinking from the toilet. Newlyweds in France were forced to drink leftovers from their wedding out of a toilet bowl. Nowadays, chocolate and champagne are used as a substitute, but still served out of a toilet. The idea was to give the bride and groom strength for their wedding night.
Is this a new toilet bowl that you go to IKEA buying your toilet bowl and then you go to this wedding? Is that because that'd be cool? I'd be okay with that. But if it's not, then I don't know what kind of strength you're talking about at the wedding night.
Yeah, because
the only power is going to be coming out of your booty hole.
You're a JJ.
No, your booty hole. Your booty hole is going to be on fire if you drink something out of a toilet.
Oh god, yeah. How are you meant to do that with a straw, like a really long straw? Oh god, gross.
Ugh, I don't want to know.
Yep. But yeah, they're my 3 favourite. There are loads more, but they're my fave.
Yeah. Another thing they do in Germany, which they actually do, I actually know that they do this, is that the day before the wedding, the family and the friends gather together and they break
Yes, I was going to talk about that. Yeah. What is that about?
It's called the Poltraben. It's just to sort of get rid of sort of bad energy and sort of the ward of evil.
I know Jewish weddings do that as well. They
step on a plate. Yeah, but here they literally just take tons of plates and dishes and they just smash them on the floor.
Okay, yeah, I have seen that a lot. Even in some Arab weddings, actually, they do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or like
it's really interesting
weddings,
how so many some would presume different cultures share a lot.
It's true. It's so strange. So similar.
There's another one. So this is, while I was researching, I came across this, and I have no idea whether this is true because I couldn't be asked to do any more research into that because I'm lazy. But so in Egypt, brides are routinely pinched by every single female wedding guest attending the ceremony.
Oh,
but that's not the interesting bit. What preceded that information was another information that said that apparently Egypt is the birthplace of legalizing unions.
Oh, really?
So marriages were first invented in Egypt, that's interesting.
How long ago
I don't
was
know whether
that?
that's true.
How long ago was that?
Oh, probably ages. Probably like, I don't know,
Pharaoh
somewhere
times.
before Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if this is true. If it's not true, don't come blaming me. Don't put this in your, your paper and
In your vows,
whatever.
your wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I know.
But
But another one.
The
Yes,
pinching
go
thing is funny because it's like, all those jealous bridesmaids that are still not married.
do you
They're
think
like
that's
going to
where it
pinch the
comes
shit
from?
out of you, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they just want like a bit of good luck from the wedding, from the bride, and they're just sort of pinching a bit of good luck. away from
Maybe
her,
that could
it's
be
not-
that as well, actually.
Interesting. I've got two more rituals, but they are more like pre-wedding rituals.
Okay.
So one in Fiji, I found this really intriguing. Basically, in order to impress your father-in-law in Fiji, you have, or to be able to ask your girl's hand in marriage, you have to present your father-in-law with the tooth of a whale. Now, I don't know whether you can just like pop down Morrison's and buy a tooth of whale and that's good, or whether you have to like go into the sea, wrestle a whale, and like pull a
That's
tooth.
nuts,
I don't know
yeah.
what.
Yeah, because
But it's
in
kind of-
Miami they have like loads of shark teeth and like baby sharks and like little tubs. Like they sell them as souvenirs. So maybe there it's like the norm. It's weird. Countries are just so strange with like things that they sell. Like their merchandise.
Other
is,
countries
like,
are so weird. Jesus.
Yeah.
Why can't they just be white?
I know. Like what the hell? But yeah, carry on.
But it's interesting. Like, what is there anything? Because you obviously, you've got a father. Obviously, you have a brother as well. Is there something that your future partner has to do to sort of impress your father or your brother? Like, is there some sort of hurdle he has to jump?
What, like an arm wrestle or like a punch up? Let's get in the boxing ring. No, to me, I think for my parents, it's mainly just like as long as he's like an intelligent person, family orientated, and that's it. Like, there's no kind of like initiation thing that he has to do.
Yeah.
Like nothing
They're
of
just
that
gonna be
sort.
like, oh, if you're willing to marry this crazy girl and take her away from us, please take her.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just take her. We'll pay you to do it. But yeah, no, nothing of that sort. What about you?
Yeah, same. I think.
'Cause-
I guess same thing. Like, they just have to be sort of intelligent.
Because
and,
you've got older brothers, so is that like something you have to factor in? Like, will they like eye them up evenly? Will like something, will it be like a ball off?
I think. Do you know what? I think my second brother isn't like as long as I'm happy with that person, he's happy with that person. But I think there is that sense of certain cousins. My oldest brother has this level of he needs to be able to drink. Like,
Really?
He needs to be like, yeah, he needs
Oh.
to hold up with us and that attitude. He has to be like a man.
Do you reckon that's what they'll do? Like take him out for a drink before the
They do
wedding?
that with most of my cousins, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But do you know what? I think it's quite important for me. Like, I don't think that I could date someone who doesn't drink.
Really?
Because I know most of my uncles and my parents, they might be looking for someone who doesn't smoke, and that's fine with me. I wouldn't want to date someone who smokes, but they're also looking for someone who doesn't drink very much, and preferably who doesn't drink at all. But that would be a turn off for me. I don't
Really?
think I could
You like a
trust
drunk?
person who doesn't drink. No, I'm not saying he needs to be drunk, but I don't think I can actually trust a person who doesn't drink.
You said that to me before, and I kind
You're
of
like,
get
what
it.
the fuck?
I kind of get it because it's like, I don't know. You just come out of your shell when you drink. You're just like, and if you're a good person, like you're a fun person to be around when you drink, it just breaks down a lot of barriers, and like you can just
It
have a good time
does.
together. But
Yeah.
obviously, it can also go the other way, and yeah, that's a bit messy.
I mean, if he's a recovering alcoholic, then that's cool. I'm not going to force a drink on him. I don't expect him to drink.
yeah.
But if you're just a regular Joe, why wouldn't you just... Why? I don't know.
Why do
I'm
you
not
find it
saying
weird?
Get drunk. I don't know, because I just like... What do you do for fun? Like, how did you have your crazy face? I mean, because I need you to have your crazy face, because I can't have your crazy face in your mid-40s. I can't have you
That's
going
true.
around strip clubs and getting like a motorbike and whatever.
But at least
like,
if he
tattoo your
doesn't drink,
face.
like, do you mean someone who at least has had a drink in his life, and doesn't drink now, or you want someone
so
who
if
regularly
he says,
drinks?
I had like a crazy face at uni. I used to like, go out, and I've done that, and now I'm good, and I just don't fancy drink. That's cool. But if you're someone who's never had a drink, it's like I don't want to ever drink. It's like what? Why?
Really?
I don't know.
But what if it's for
I just
religious
find it-
reasons?
If you're that religious that you can't drink, I'm not going to date you anyway. I'm not going to touch you anyway. That is-
touche.
Yeah.
Okay, fair dues.
So yeah, you gotta be able to handle your liquor.
God. God.
God, we're so messed up.
Yeah.
Another pre-wedding ritual from Armenia is that single women in Armenia have to consume a chunk of traditionally baked salt bread that's said to inspire a prophetic vision of the male that they would marry.
What the hell?
In the
is
dream.
A bit much. Okay.
Really, I thought this would be right up your alley. So in the dream, there's bound to be a guy bringing the girl some water, and that guy is the guy that she's gonna get married to. So yeah, woman's gonna do some baking tonight.
Oh my god, that is very. Talking about Armenia, proof of consummation. What have you heard about that? Like, is that something that's still prevalent in some cultures? Do you guys still give it much importance?
These days, like in sort of the diaspora, Hindus don't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone who sort of holds up the sheet. With,
God,
a
wouldn't that
bloodstone.
be
It's
horrific?
I got me a virgin. Back in the past, it definitely used to be a thing, for Hindu and Muslim cultures that you
Bring out the
sort of,
bed sheet.
Yeah, exactly. Bring out the bed sheet.
I think even
show it. I think,
but not even
used to hang the sheets.
not even Asian and Middle Eastern. Like, if you, a lot of Shakespeare talks about that as well. Like in his plays, he's like, oh, the
Really?
bloody, like they took out the bloodied sheet, and it was like the proof of consummation. And I think it was something that they did in medieval times, or in Italy back in the day, probably
Really?
Yeah, I think they probably
didn't know the
did.
European countries did
in
that.
more conservative communities, they probably did. Amongst royalty, probably as well, because they probably held a lot of weight around that. But yeah,
which is so dumb, because if you know anything about sort of the female anatomy, then you will know that
exactly.
there's so many reasons why a hymen can break. It's not just sex. It can break doing sports. Riding a bike, so
Yeah, dummy.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's
Anyways,
pretty much all for today, unless you have anything else to add.
just sort of had one last question-ish.
Okay.
Is there doing the research, reading up on sort of different cultures, is there any tradition, any sort of custom where you thought, oh, that's so nice, that sounds so lovely, I would like to incorporate that into my own wedding?
Oh.
Or just an idea for a wedding, of a celebrity wedding or whatever, and we're like, oh, me likey.
Me likey. God, you make me sound like an emoji or something. I think, oh God, I think tradition-wise, I would stick to my own, just because I don't want to and I don't want to culturally appropriate as well. Where
Thank you.
there's that's not really my culture. Why am I doing this? But in terms of wedding style and layout, I would probably go for something a tiny bit unorthodox. I think something like my cousin's wedding in Italy, outdoorsy, on a lake, what's his name, Amal and Clooney.
Como, I think.
Yeah.
Como, because that's where his house is.
Yeah, somewhere there, I think, outside.
Stalker alert much?
Oh God, yeah. But nothing too out there. No, I wouldn't do anything too strange, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to do something that's just in a hall. But yeah, what about you?
It's funny that you should mention Amal and George Clooney, because I read up on the internet about sort of fun celebrity weddings or whatever, and what they did, which I thought was so cute, and it'd be so just amazing idea, is that they gifted each of their guests an iPod.
Oh, wow.
Preloaded with a playlist they put together.
Oh,
That's sweet, isn't it?
that is really sweet. That's adorable. Oh, they must be bloody loaded as well.
Well, that goes without saying. I just probably just send them a link to my playlist. I can't afford to buy everyone up.
Yeah, cheap version.
But yeah, that was it. I think we can pretty much wrap the show up. To end with, I've got one more fun fact for you to ponder upon.
Okay.
So the phrase tying the knot, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where that comes from?
Nope.
So in many cultures around the world, including the Hindu culture, what you do for a wedding is you don't really put a ring on it. These days you incorporate that in the civil wedding as well. But traditionally, what you do is you literally tie like a necklace around their neck, obviously.
Yeah.
So the groom ties a necklace around the bride's neck, and that's where the expression comes from, tying the knots.
Around
a
the
lot
neck?
Of other cultures,
Bloody hell.
yeah, it's like literally a necklace, but it's sort of made out of.
Oh, right,
These days
okay.
it's made out of gold, but back then it used to just be a string.
Oh, okay. And how long would they wear that for?
Oh, for the rest of their life.
Oh, the rest of their life?
Yeah, because that substitutes the wedding ring,
ring.
so it shows everyone, literally tying the knots.
Oh, very interesting. What are your thoughts on
bracelets.
men who don't want to wear their wedding rings?
Why?
Why?
do you not want to wear it? I mean, if he works as a mechanic, then I get it. It comes in your way. So my brother, what he did is, because he early in his, when he just got married, he worked like a lot with cars, and he like got his hands dirty. So what he did is he used to wear his wedding ring on a necklace.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
Yeah. So if you're a mechanic, or if you do like any sort
Work
of like
with your
hard
hands.
labor, then put it as wear it as a necklace.
Yeah.
But if not, if you work in an office and you don't want to wear your wedding ring, why?
Why? Yeah. Why?
Yeah. No.
Same.
How about you?
No, they have to wear it. They have to glue
Yeah.
that shit on their finger, like, it's all coming off.
You're never taking it off, man.
Hell no. But yeah.
Well, what's also quite cute is if you get like a tattoo under the wedding ring.
Yeah, I've seen that before, of like initials
quite nice,
or
yeah.
just text like across the finger.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. We are quite romantic though, aren't we?
We are.
We say that we're not, but we are.
Yeah, I think we are. And obviously because we see our parents as well, and we kind of, we see that love. I know it's cheesy.
we're both fortunate enough to come, to have parents that we can
that's still
sort of draw
together,
inspiration from. And exactly.
But yeah,
We're
so
quite lucky that
we
way.
kind of planned to have a short podcast of this topic, but because like we have so much to talk about and it is a big topic, we ended up going over the
is.
time, but it was all
Yeah.
good. Hopefully you find it interesting.
Hopefully you've learned a few things and, had a few laughs.
Exactly, as always. So yeah, that's pretty much all for today. If you want to get in contact, let us know what kind of things you do in your culture when it comes to weddings, or if you obviously want to diss us or just troll us on social media,
If you want to propose to us,
that
also,
as well, most importantly.
please forward your profiles.
Yeah.
A picture of your face, a picture of your body, a picture of your bank account.
Oh
and,
my god.
no genitals, please.
No willy pics. But yeah, please do. We want to hear from you guys. So Twitter handle is most_mosaic, and email address is mostmosaic@gmail.com.
Precisely.
Yes.
Thanks so much for listening, tuning in, and sticking with us. And look forward to more stories of London and Canadian adventures.
Yeah, loads of juicy stuff, especially from you, Mrs. But thanks for listening, guys.
Yes, thank you again. And you will hear us, I suppose.
Yeah, next podcast.
Next podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.